Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and now here I am, completing these next top 10 best hand-drawn anime Disney movie reviews. Now here I am to review my number one next best hand-drawn anime Disney film, which is Peter Pan. So, yeah, this was the film that when I was making my the first list that I did, this was the one that I like really kept considering like putting on the list. I mean, yeah, this was like I have already said several times, like the last three I had in this list were ones that I really was tempted to put in the first one, but yeah, this was the one that I really did like I really was considering doing it. Like as I was like trying to come up with Disney films to put in that list, what I think were the best ones. This was one that really like I was like kept like thinking of, and this was one that I really was like considering really the most to really put on the first list. So yeah, I really do like this film a lot. Like this is like a really good film. I mean yeah, as far as adaptations of Peter Pan goes, I mean I think that this is probably like my favorite version of the classic like story of Peter Pan. I mean, as I've told you guys before, like I really do like love Hook a lot, and yeah, between like this and Hook, these are probably like my favorite two Peter Pan films. Yeah, I really love both films a lot. So yeah, it's harder for me to really like say which one I really like more because I really do like both a lot. But yeah, this one is still like really good as well. So yeah, of course like with this film, like it does like makes like some changes in this film than there were to like the original like Peter Pan Broadway by James Barry. And yeah, I will like get into like some of those changes in this review. So yeah, but yeah, I still really do like enjoy this film a lot. Like growing up, I really did like watch this one a lot, and yeah, I really did like really love it. Like I really like got a lot of enjoyment out of it. Like it was like had like a lot of funny scenes in it. It told the story like pretty well, and yeah, it really does like try to like keep it like not really like when I the Broadway, like some scenes in it, the Broadway can actually kind of like go on too long, and it really just like seems to like really just like stretch out. This film really doesn't do that. Like this film really doesn't like spend like so much time in like one scene of it. Yeah, like it like the in the Broadway, like it spends like the first half hour in the uh Darling nursery with where Peter meets Wendy, John, and Michael. And yeah, it really just takes like like the first half hour of the Broadway to really like actually get to Neverland and stuff. And here it really isn't like that. Like there is like some like it does open up like in the Darling Family Nursery, but yeah, it doesn't really like stay there like that long. Like it is like much quicker into getting like Peter, Wendy, Michael, and John to Neverland. So I really do like how this film really doesn't like do what the Broadway does. Really like stretch scenes out like that. Like it really does like trim the scenes down. It really just like keeps it at a better pace, I think. And so yeah, and like I was saying, like this film actually does have like some changes to the original story and the Broadway of Peter Pan. And yeah, this film actually does like have a real interesting first for Peter Pan. Like this was actually the first time that Peter Pan was actually shown as an actual boy. Like I'm sure like just about all you know that know the Broadway. Like the Broadway for some reason like has like this tradition of always like having women play the part of Peter Pan, which I have never really understood. Like, why is there the tradition to cast women in a boy role? I've never understood that. But yeah, Walt Disney had broken that tradition with this film, and this was the first time Peter Pan was actually like shown as a boy. Like, of course, like the boy is animated, but yeah, we still like he still does have like the voice of a boy, and yeah, he really does like still like look as like a boy. So yeah, I really do like that they actually did like do that. They actually had a boy character actually be shown and sounded like a boy. So I do like that about this film. And yeah, this does have like some kind of like some other changes like that. Like of course like this this is Disney, this is like more lighthearted than like the original story. Like the Broadway could like get like kind of dark, and even like the original story could also get like pretty dark. But yeah, this one is more like lighthearted. Like in this film, like we'd never actually like see anybody actually like get killed, at least on screen anyway. Like there was like this one part where Captain Hook like ends up like shooting one of his crew members, but yeah, we never actually see the crew member get shot. So yeah, we never actually do see anybody like get killed on screen. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, there are like a few other changes like that. Like another change is that rather than like in the scene where Captain Hook and the pirates end up like kidnapping Wendy and the boys, rather than like trying to poison Peter like in the Broadway and stuff, like instead like Captain Hook tries to like just give Peter a bomb as a gift to try to just blow Peter up instead of actually poisoning him. So yeah, that's like another change in this. And yeah, they do like just have like other changes like that throughout this film as well. So yeah, this film like does like make some like changes to it. So yeah, it does like try to keep it like, well, it does like overall it does like stick to the premise of like the original story. It does like make some like changes like that just to like kind of like I think freshen it up a little bit. And yeah, I really do like the tone that this movie's taking. And yeah, it really does have like some real funny scenes as well, particularly the stuff with like Captain Hook and the crocodile. Like the stuff with Captain Hook and the crocodile I always just find so funny. Like whenever Captain Hook like hears the clock ticking from the crocodile, like the twitches that are in his face I just like find really funny. And even like when the crocodile is actually like chasing him and stuff, like trying to eat him, that stuff is just like real funny too. Like especially when you have me in there, like with all that slapstick that ensues, that stuff is just absolutely hilarious, and it like just kills me every time. That stuff's really hilarious. And yeah, Captain Hook, like this is probably like one of the more famous versions of Captain Hook. I mean, this is like the Captain Hook that people always talk about, like, and like people will always also like talk about Dustin Hoffman's Captain Hook and Hook. And so yeah, yeah, and yeah, Captain Hook in this film, like he's real funny, and yeah, the pirates are like they're like entertaining to watch too. Like the pirates, like they do have like some are enjoyable characters as well. And we also, of course, like have the Indians in this film, and yeah, the Indians like they like are like kind of looked at a little bit differently here than they are like in the original Broadway. Like just the yeah, the Indians just are kind of portrayed a little bit differently than they are on the Broadway. So yeah, there's that, man. So, yeah, overall, it is a good movie. I mean, yeah, the connection between Peter and Wendy in this film, like, it is like kind of like differently too. It's not like something where they like are like actually like really really in love and just like they like end up kissing and stuff. Like they never actually do kiss each other or do anything like to show that they're in love at all in this film. But yeah, they do like have a really like close connection with each other, and I really like that about this one too. How it just kind of like just they show like Peter really is like not really wanting to grow up, and it's just like he's not really like that like wanting to like really fall in love with a girl. So yeah, yeah, it does like kind of make it like more realistic, showing that Peter really is just like still like a child at heart, and he really doesn't want to grow up. So yeah, I really do like what this film really does. I like how it does really make Peter like kind of like just really like not wanting to grow up. I like the pirates, and so yeah, I like the songs in this film. Like this, the songs were like good to hear. I mean, you have like of course You Can Fly, there's Follow the Leader. There's that song that the Indians sing. So yeah, the songs are pretty good. And yeah, like I said, the humor with like Captain Hook and the crocodile is just great. And yeah, I really do like the when like Peter does fight with Captain Hook in the battle with the pirates at the end. So yeah, it really does like it does have like romance and stuff, and it has action in it. So yeah, it really has stuff that both like girls and boys can get into. So yeah, it is like a really really good film. So yeah, I would give this film 3.5 stars out of 4 once again. Yeah, it just is a really really enjoyable movie, and probably like my favorite version of like the classic story of Peter Pan. So yeah, it is like a really really good film. Alright, so yeah, let me just get right into it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of you probably already know like the story of Peter Pan, so I probably really don't need to like really go like that in depth into this. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna like skim through this as quick as I can, because yeah, pretty much all you already know the story. Alright, so yeah, the film opens up in London around like the 1900s sometime. And yeah, the Darling parents are getting ready to head out, and yeah, interestingly enough, like in this film, like it showed that apparently like there are stories of Peter Pan already out there, and like Wendy, John, and Michael actually like really do like believe the stories are true and stuff, and so yeah, when John and Michael are like fighting as a Peter Pan Captain Hook that Wendy has told them, and then the father, of course, just like doesn't buy into that and just basically is wanting Wendy to grow up. Oh yeah, and yeah, then as the Wendy, Michael, and John were getting ready to go for bed, like Wendy just told her mother that she like has a Peter Pan's shadow, and yeah, you all know this how Peter Pan's shadow is alive and like like it like always gets away from Peter and stuff. Yeah, and so then that night Peter then snuck into the bedroom after the parents had went out, and yeah, Peter of course like trying to get his shadow back, and yeah, you know this thing. He like tries to stick it on with soap, but of course he can't do that. And then Wendy then woke up and saw Peter, and she already like knew who he was. It's not like in the Broadway where like Peter and Wendy introduced themselves. Like Wendy already knows who Peter is, of course. And then yeah, she of course then like sold the shadow on for him, and then yeah, Peter was then telling Wendy about Neverland and stuff, and wanted Wendy to come with him to Neverland to be a mother to him and the other Lost Boys. And so then yeah, John and Michael then all woke up, and yeah, they all wanted to go to Neverland. And so then yeah, Peter then showed them how to fly. Yeah, he like sprinkled them with pixie dust, and then yeah, made them think happy thoughts, and they were flying. Yeah, and then they ended up then flying to Neverland along with Tinkerbell, of course, and yeah, Tinkerbell, of course, like she's like become a real popular character with Disney. I mean, with all these Tinkerbell movies that they've done, yeah, and yeah, Tinkerbell like never actually does talk in this movie, but of course, like you just know what she's thinking because just of her looks. So yeah, they do a good job with Tinkerbell in this one, like making it basically an all like facial performance really, and with no dialogue. So yeah, I like how they do have Tinkerbell portrayed in this film. And yeah, Peter Len and the flying them off to Neverland, which was the second start of the ride, and straight on till morning. Yeah. And then yeah, and then it showed like Captain Hook being captain the pirate ship, the Jolly Roger, and stuff. And then yeah, Captain Hook then just of course like wants revenge on Peter for cutting off his hand and feeding it to the crocodile. And yeah, as I said, the crocodile is always after Captain Hook and stuff. And yeah, and then eventually Tinkerbell ended up like bringing Wendy, Michael, and John to the Peter and the Lost Boys hideout, and of course like Tinkerbell then like was telling the Lost Boys that Wendy was a bird that Peter wants them to shoot, and so then rather than like shooting arrows at Wendy like the boys do in the Broadway, okay, they just start like firing like rocks and just throwing things at her and a bunch of stuff. And then yeah, of course then Peter like stops it. And of course in this film like they didn't have anything happen to Wendy. Like they're not gonna have like it seemed like Wendy was almost killed like in the Broadway when Arrow actually does like stick to her. Yeah, they're of course like they're not gonna have any of that in this film. So yeah, Peter just like stopped the Lost Boys from trying to kill Wendy and told her what she's really there for. And after hearing that Tinkerbell had like what she was intending to have done to Wendy, then Peter then just ended up banishing Tinkerbell for a week. Yeah. And then yeah, then as Peter took Wendy off to just show her the island, then John, Michael, and the Lost Boys then went out to hunt Indians, and as they went out, they then eventually ended up like being captured by Indians, and then yeah, they then ended up being tied off, and the chief said that his daughter Tiger Lily had been kidnapped, and that if she hadn't returned, then the boys would basically be burned. Yeah, and yeah, it was then like shown that Captain Hook had kidnapped Tiger Lily to try to get her to tell him where Peter Pan's hideout was, and so then Captain Hook and Smee ended up like taking Tiger Lily to uh, Skull Rock, which was like this I don't know, this deserted location or something that basically Tiger Lily would drown in and stuff. And so then, yeah, Peter and Wendy like saw Captain Hook taking Tiger Lily, and so they followed them to Skull Rock. And of course, like Peter then was just like, as Captain Hook like went off to investigate a noise that Peter had caused, and like of course like Peter then like was talking as Captain Hook, telling Smee to set Tiger Lily free, and eventually like Captain Hook ended up catching Peter, and so then we had a brief battle between Peter and Captain Hook, and eventually like Captain Hook ended up like falling off of a cliff, and then yeah, then we have this whole thing with like the crocodile still like he followed Captain Hook to Skull Rock, and yeah, he like of course then was trying to eat Captain Hook some more, and then yeah, we got all this hijinks with like Captain Hook being like stuck in the crocodile's mouth. Oh, yeah, just trying to stop the crocodile from eating him. And at one point, like, as Captain Hook jumped from the crocodile, trying to jump to Smee, then the crocodile then just got in front of Smee, and then Captain Hook just like fell right in the crocodile's mouth, and Smee like was gonna use an oar to hit the crocodile to let Captain Hook go, but as Smee was swinging the oar, the crocodile opened his mouth, and Captain Hook got hit with the oar, and then yeah, Captain Hook then just jumped on the edge of the boat, and as Smee was just trying to row out of there, then Captain Hook just hit his head on the part of the rock, and stuff, and then as he tried to jump out to get the crocodile, he hit his head again. Until then, yeah, the crocodile then just chased Captain Hook out of Skull Rock, and then Peter then freed Tiger Lily and took her back to the Indian village. And then, yeah, later that night, Captain Hook and Smee found out about Peter banishing Tinkerbell, and so then Captain Hook then came up with a plan to trick Tinkerbell into telling him where Peter's hideout was, and so then uh, Peter, uh, Captain Hook then just sent Smee to shore to capture Tinkerbell and bring him back to her, and then yeah, Smee ended up doing that. And yeah, and then and yeah, and then yeah, and then like as Captain Hook was then just talking to Tinkerbell about like her jealousy for Wendy and stuff, then he then like tricked Tinkerbell into like revealing where Peter's hideout actually was, and so then and yeah, then Peter. I mean, why do I keep saying that? Captain Hook ended up locking Tinkerbell up, and then yeah, Captain Hook and the rest of the pirates then went to the location of the hideout, and then no, yeah, then later on that night, no, after Wendy was like just telling John, Michael, and the other Lost Boys about what a mother really is, then Wendy, Michael, and John then decided that they wanted to go back home, and then yeah, they of course like invited Peter and the Lost Boys to join them and be adopted by the parents, and as I'm sure all you know, and the Lost Boys agreed, but Peter didn't, and because of course like he did not want to grow up, and so then as Wendy and the boys were leaving, they ended up in like the pirates then were just like waiting outside of the hideout, and they ended up capturing Wendy and the boys. And then, yeah, they then just left a bomb for Peter rather than poisoning him, as I said earlier. And then, yeah, they then, like, brought Wendy and the boys back to the ship, and then, yeah, Captain Hook told them about the bomb that he left for Peter, and then Peter saw the bomb, and it was, like, labeled it was from Wendy. And so then, yeah, and then Tinkerbell eventually ended up breaking free, and then she was able to get back to Peter to warn him about it, and then she got the present away from Peter just right before it exploded. And so then Captain Hook gave Wendy and the boys the option either to join his crew or walk the plank, and then yeah, they Wendy just told them that they would never join the crew, and so then yeah, they had Wendy walk the plank first, and then as Wendy was like jumped off of the plank, you could just hear like the whistling of her just falling down, but there was no splash of her hitting the water. And then it was like revealed that Peter had actually arrived and like basically saved Wendy from falling into the water. And then yeah, Peter then revealed it to Captain Hook and the pirates, and so then yeah, Peter and the boys then just did battle with Captain Hook and the pirates and stuff, and yeah, eventually at one point, Captain Hook actually did have Peter cornered, but then yeah, Peter then like just trapped Captain Hook in the uh, Skull and Crossbones flag, and then had him cornered. And yeah, Captain Hook just pleaded for Peter to spare his life, and Peter agreed if Captain Hook would admit he was a codfish, and so then Captain Hook did that. And then yeah, Peter and like let Captain Hook go, but then as Captain Hook tried to go after Peter again, he ended up falling overboard, and the crocodile, of course, went after him again. And yeah, at one point, like as Hook's legs were like on the both the in the crocodile's mouth, and the crocodile just ended up closing its mouth, and Captain Hook was then just launched like all the way, like just way across the water. And yeah, like the rest of the crew like was like fleeing, like abandoning the ship as well. And yeah, Captain Hook was just ended up like launched like right past them. And so then yeah, it just showed like the crocodile pursuing Hook and the rest of the crew just trying to pursue Captain Hook also to rescue him. And so then yeah, then Peter and the boys then took control of the ship, and then they flew Wendy, John, and Michael back to Neverland, and it was actually a pretty good looking scene. Like they Tinkerbell totally sprinkled the ship with pixie dust, and it was like completely gold, and it was flying through the air. So yeah, that I actually do like that scene right there. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, then just showed then Wendy waking up back in the nursery, well, right beside the window. Oh, and then yeah, it was revealed that the Lost Boys decided to return to Neverland with Peter rather than like staying in London. So that was another change that was made. The boys ended up like going back to Neverland rather than being adopted by the Darlings. So yeah, another change right there. And yeah, Wendy then was just telling the parents about the adventures, and then yeah, and then it just showed like in the sky, it showed that there was a cloud shaped as a ship, and then the father then was just looking at it and feeling that he had felt that he had seen the ship before a long time ago, and then yeah, it just ended with showing that a cloud ship up in the sky. So yeah, that's how it ended. So yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars out of 4. I mean, yeah, this is definitely just like a really, really good movie, and like I said, probably my favorite interpretation of the classic story of Peter Pan. I really just really do like this film a lot, and yeah, I just really do have had a lot of enjoyment out of it. So yeah, yeah, so a really good movie. And yeah, like I said, I was really, really considering putting this on the first list that I did before. So yeah, really good movie. So 3.5 stars out of 4, like I said. Alright, so yeah, that does it for my review of Peter Pan, and that does it for these next top 10 best hand-drawn animated Disney movies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this list, and so yeah, now that I've gotten this done, now I'm on to the second part that I told you guys I was going to do, where I'm going to now be reviewing the sequels to my my list of what I did last year for the top 10 best live action Disney films. And as I told you before, for every if like any of the films that I did last year like have multiple sequels, I'm just going to be reviewing the one sequel, which will be my pick for the best sequel of all the ones that I have that have multiple sequels. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be doing next. Then also, with me doing this, I am like cutting it pretty close. Like there is only like about a week of June left, and as I told you guys before, I do have something planned for July. So yeah, I'm probably gonna like be doing these sequels to the live action films. I'm probably gonna end up probably doing like probably like 2 a day sometimes. Like I'll probably do like multiple reviews in one day as I'm doing these. Now I don't have like a whole lot of these sequels to review. Like, it's only about like 5 or 6 sequels that I'm reviewing for this part of my reviews for these Disney reviews. So, but yeah, still, like, I want to have time before I get to like Plans for July to like just do like a couple of like other videos before I actually do get to my Plans for July. So yeah, I'll probably just like do a couple of reviews on some days as I'm getting through these reviews. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be. So yeah, this is the next part of these reviews with the sequels to my picks for the top 10 best live action Disney films, which was the list that I did last year. So yeah, that's coming up next. So yeah, stay tuned for that coming up next. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy these reviews of the next top 10 best hand-drawn animated Disney movies. So, so yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this list, and so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.